That's the exhaust manifold.
There's a little water dripping from it.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh. That's coolant.
Okay, everybody.
Hang on. Hold on.
Get the damn camera.
Hey, we're Jenny and Rich, and our stowaway is Twitchell the Marina Cat. We've been documenting the refit of our 1977 Toyota 37 Ramble on for the past several years. I don't think there's a single part of this boat that we haven't repaired, replaced, or improved in some way. We're proud to say we've done 99.9% of the work ourselves. We've gained a lot of knowledge and experience in the process, and we're happy to pass that wisdom on.
I mean, then that's a blanked out plate at the low spot. There's no continuation of circulation, but this is that thing I was talking about with this coolant. It's sort of crystallized. This is the back plate gasket between the mixing elbow.
Okay, what's that red goop?
It's a high temp silicone, RTV silicone sealant. And that was spooged into the cavity right here. This thing was sitting like this. That's interesting, but I'm not sure it could completely be the sole thing.
It indicates there might be more somewhere else, right?
So the water comes up through here, and I think there's multiple passageways in which it comes back and circulates through the top hose back. The top hose connects to the header tank. This hose connects to the heat exchanger. So this tube, this goes on the bottom, this goes to the heat exchanger. So the next thing is to check the heat exchanger now and make sure the antifreeze crud and crust that I've been popping out of here hasn't transferred into any of the passageways in there in the cooling side. The two cylinders share each of these two exhaust pipes.
Okay. And
then they go out together out of the back end. This looks like more of everything just settled down here with gravity and sort of ended up on the back plate, because this is just an open passageway, but it seems like there's a cooling passageway here that leads to the upper tank, or the upper part of this. It seems like every time I turn this thing, crap falls out. If this passage got blocked by one of those chunks, air wouldn't get out of this system, and then that would be my airlock point, would be this damn bleeder right here. So I'll take it apart. I gotta be real careful, because this is cast aluminum, I think. It's not cast iron because it's so light. I think I checked it with a magnet. All right, so I'm taking off the, I'm draining the oil and getting ready to take this side off. This is the oil cooler right here. But I noticed there's a lot of crusty, and this was in the water passages that's actually inside. Look at those chunks in here. I mean, they don't look like they have been moving. They've just kind of been stuck in here. The same stuff that was in the hose that I just knocked out. I'm going to change this hose. I'm going to make a new hose. Plus, one of the hose clamps completely failed. This is a factory. This was painted blue when the engine was built, so I never changed that hose clamp. Not seeing any real major problems inside the water passages. I got the oil drain down, took the oil filter off, and now I'm going to take the heat exchanger and disconnect it and get it out of here. This is the heat exchanger. I don't remember. When did we put it on? In 15? Probably 2015, but the amount of hours it has on it, not that much. We'll open it up just to put my mind at ease, since I had to take it out and get it out of the way anyway. You can see that's the zinc sticking in there, that little probe. So the cooling tubes look good, but look at this. More of that. So we got a really great comment on the last video, and I forget his name, I'll have to look him up, but I wanted to say thanks. He mentioned about using regular tap water or highly mineralized well water. And that's pretty much what we got out here at this marina. We're on well water. The raw water side travels through the ports, the little tiny tubes. The engine water, or the coolant side, travels through the outsides that you can't get to. So there's more of that crap. And that's on the coolant side. This actually looks like rust deposits that have been transferred and moved through here. No smoking gun, but every little piece I pull apart so far has shown me crusty crap. This is the oil cooler. These passages look pretty good. No big blockages, no crystallized anything. So I got the oil cooler off. I got the exhaust manifold off. Took the heat exchanger out. Yeah, that's the one on the back. Haven't really found anything definitive. Did find some rusty in the block port right here. No big smoking gun. It could be a factor of a bunch of little things adding up, or some blocked coolant passages. So yeah, a little frustrated right now. So I've just been working and stripping some of these things down and getting parts off of the header tank, and still got to do a little bit on the exhaust manifold, but I wanted to try, I picked up a gallon of Barnacle Buster and I wanted to try this on the heat exchanger. I just wanted to make sure that inside the freshwater passages there was none of that crusty residue from the antifreeze that we've been experiencing all over. I'm not sure how safe it is for aluminum, so I'm going to mix some up at 4-to-1 ratio is what they, or 5-to-1. I just wanted to kind of get in, clean out some of the junk that you see inside the header tank. It's just, every time I shake it, there's like just a cruddy residue. So I'm gonna work on that, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this thing a soak. I'm gonna run this thing through. Obviously, I've taken out the plugs, also taken out the zinc, so you gotta pull the anode for that. And this thing has only been ran in fresh water through the engine raw water side, but even the zinc is a little crusty, so there's a little bit of something smoldering through here, and that's the freshwater drain on the freshwater side. I've got this is the top of the radiator tank, or the header tank for the radiator cap. Figure I'll go ahead and give this thing a dip and see what happens. Yeah, something's happening. It's bubbling like hell. I'm gonna keep an eye on this. This is, I think it's brass or copper. I do have my handy dandy siphon bulb. So I'm gonna put this thing down in the solution and then squirt it through, just to get it through all the coolant ports. All right, so I got some pretty gunky water here, but I think most of that is just metallic residue that's sloughed off in the process. I'm gonna dunk it in a bath of fresh water and then take it and hose it out. But yeah, the tubes look really clean. Now I'm gonna try and soak the, maybe I'll do the header tank. I pulled this bottom plate off because I was gonna soak the header tank. There's just a lot of powdery crud. I don't know what that's from. This is the header tank. It only sees antifreeze, but the biggest thing that bothered me was this gasket. I made just a round gasket and not a donut. But this thing has just been sitting here crustifying with that antifreeze in the aluminum. So there's like, here's some of that crystallized green antifreeze that I was talking about. So I haven't figured this out completely yet, but it's doing something really weird to the inside of this metal here, this metal plate. I had to replace this metal plate a few years ago. The old one had corroded through as well, so I cut a piece of flat aluminum, drilled it out, made a gasket for it so it sits on the bottom of the header tank here. All right, so now I got the oil cooler and some more of this Barnacle Buster. It's diluted. I taped off all the oil ports for the oil and transmission lines, and then I'm just gonna bring it up to about here and soak it. Just look over that. Oh, this is pretty amazing. This thing was definitely dirty. So that is just a lot of crusty scale. The passages don't seem to be blocked. The coolant passages aren't blocked. Okay, it's been about an hour now. Might take it and rinse it. Might still be some scummy film in there. So I'm just filling up the exhaust manifold as well right now. This is the old solution, and I'm putting some of the other in it. I'll just leave this thing sitting here. The exhaust manifold is aluminum, so I am kind of keeping an eye on it. I want to babysit this for a while, just to make sure nothing adverse happens to it. I want to do this, I think I want to do the header tank and the exhaust manifold one more time. The old solution was getting pretty used up after the oil cooler and the main heat exchanger on the raw water side. All right, so it's been about 25 minutes or so, and I'm starting to see little bubbles coming up from where bubbles probably shouldn't be coming up. So I think I'm gonna call it now. I'm just getting nervous about this aluminum being a little more reactive. Not a whole lot, but still, there's still some scale, but it's loosened up a little bit. But I think I'm just gonna get this thing rinsed out and call it. I don't see any major blockages or anything like that, obviously. Inside the exhaust manifold, you really can't see the blockages. But I'm gonna dunk this in a bucket. On to plan B. So that's where we are up to this point. I'm gonna have to dig deeper into the engine. I'm probably gonna find more of that crystallized, crusty antifreeze residue inside the block. I ordered the head gaskets and the bottom end gasket sets from this tractor place over in the Midwest, Gen Supply, and also some parts from the UK. And I think I'm gonna have to knock out the freeze plugs and do some flushing through the engine block and just blow it out. I think I'm gonna take the cylinder head off and the whole rocker assembly, fuel lines, all that crap. I don't know if I have to take the fuel pump all the way off, but I'm digging into that manual and we'll see. I don't know how long this is gonna take, but it's gonna be a time-consuming process, and I really only get a chance to work on it on weekends, so I don't know when the next time we'll see a video is, but we'll let you know.